Welcome to the Daily Globe. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. The global auto industry is in turmoil, triggered by President Trump's aggressive tariffs aimed at boosting American manufacturing. These sweeping tariffs have forced international car makers to rethink decades-old strategies, shaking the foundations of global supply chains. While headlines warn of a Japanese exodus, the reality is a strategic pivot. Companies like Toyota are investing billions in U.S. production, not leaving. The real question, are these protectionist measures actually working? The White House claims victory, but the impact is far more complex. This feature will cut through the noise, examining the facts, key investments, and the real consequences for American jobs and global partners. The stakes are enormous for workers, companies, and the future of the global auto industry. To understand the current upheaval, we must look at Trump's America First trade doctrine. The administration's goal: make importing cars and parts expensive, forcing companies to build in the U.S. In 2025, a 25% tariff hit all imported vehicles and parts, with additional steep levies on steel and aluminum. Even cars assembled in the U.S. face tariffs if they don't meet strict USMCA content rules, pushing automakers to localize supply chains. The White House defends these policies as necessary to restore American industrial dominance despite global backlash. The aim isn't just assembly jobs, it's to rebuild the entire U.S. auto ecosystem and secure its future. August 2025 brought a dramatic new tariff structure reshaping the auto market overnight. Japan and the EU now face a 15% tariff, lower than the 35% on Canadian cars and 30% on Mexican vehicles, angering U.S. automakers and unions. This reversal means it's now cheaper to import a car from Japan than from Canada, upending decades of North American integration. Automakers like Toyota must constantly recalculate costs, as a car built in Ontario is suddenly pricier in Ohio than one shipped from Yokohama. The result: frantic price cuts and supply chain shifts, with Japanese export prices to the U.S. plunging nearly 20% year over year. The industry is scrambling to adapt to a complex, unpredictable new reality. Japanese automakers responded to tariffs by absorbing costs, slashing export prices to protect U.S. market share. This short-term sacrifice can't last. Profitability, R&D, and future investments are at risk. Toyota's long-standing philosophy is to build where we sell, leading to massive U.S. investments, but tariffs still hit imported models hard. Now, Japanese firms must decide: keep importing and pay tariffs, shift production to the U.S., or face even higher costs from Canadian and Mexican plants. Each option is a logistical and financial puzzle, with no easy answers. The pressure is forcing a complete re-evaluation of global production strategies. The next moves will shape the industry's future. Amid talk of a trade war, Toyota made a bold move, a $912 million investment to expand hybrid production in 5 U.S. states. This significant investment is part of Toyota's broader strategy to deepen its roots in the American market, ensuring that it remains a key player in the automotive industry. By focusing on hybrid technology, Toyota is not only addressing current consumer demands, but also preparing for a future where sustainability is paramount. This isn't a retreat, it's a strategic commitment, part of a $10 billion 5-year U.S. investment plan. This plan underscores Toyota's confidence in the American market and its dedication to innovation and growth. By spreading its investments across multiple states, Toyota is also fostering regional economic development and creating a ripple effect of prosperity. The timing was savvy, following Trump's public call for more investment, and it solidified Toyota's status as a major U.S. employer. This move not only aligns with political expectations, but also strengthens Toyota's relationship with the U.S. government, potentially paving the way for future collaborations and support. Toyota is betting on hybrids, not full EVs, as American consumers remain cautious about electric vehicles. While EVs are gaining traction, hybrids offer a balanced approach, combining the benefits of traditional engines with electric power, making them a more palatable option for many consumers. The investment will create over 250 new jobs and secure thousands more, reinforcing local supply chains. This job creation is crucial for local economies, providing stable employment opportunities and fostering community growth. Additionally, by strengthening local supply chains, Toyota ensures a more resilient and efficient production process. By building more hybrid components in the U.S., Toyota reduces its exposure to tariffs and strengthens its market position. This strategic move not only mitigates financial risks associated with international trade tensions, but also enhances Toyota's ability to meet domestic demand swiftly and efficiently. This is build where we sell in action, turning crisis into opportunity. By localizing production, Toyota is not only adhering to economic policies, but also demonstrating its commitment to the communities it serves. Toyota's move is a blueprint for surviving and thriving in the new tariff era. It showcases how companies can adapt to changing economic landscapes, leveraging challenges to drive innovation and growth. The new tariffs have created a complex landscape of winners and losers among American workers, reshaping the auto industry in ways that are still unfolding. For many on the factory floor, these changes are felt in their daily routines, job security, and even in the types of vehicles they help build. Toyota's recent investment in U.S. manufacturing brings thousands of jobs and a sense of stability to states like Kentucky and West Virginia. For local communities, this means more than just paychecks. It's about revitalizing towns, supporting small businesses, and providing opportunities for future generations. The administration points to these successes as proof that their strategy is working, highlighting the positive ripple effects throughout the region. But not everyone is convinced. Labor unions like the UAW argue that the 15% tariff on Japanese imports doesn't go far enough to protect American jobs. They worry that automakers will simply absorb the extra costs or shift their supply chains to other countries, leaving U.S. workers vulnerable. Union leaders are calling for stronger measures, fearing that without them, the industry could see more layoffs or plant closures in the long run. Meanwhile, U.S. automakers face their own set of challenges. Many rely on imported parts and vehicles from their North American plants, and the tariffs have driven up costs across the board. This puts pressure on profit margins and forces companies to rethink their production strategies, sometimes at the expense of American jobs. As a result, major players like Ford and GM have scaled back their ambitious electric vehicle plans, choosing instead to refocus on hybrids and traditional gasoline models. This shift affects not only the company's bottom lines, but also the types of skills and training workers need to stay relevant in a changing industry. The impact is uneven. Some workers feel more secure thanks to new investments, while others worry about layoffs or reduced hours. The mood on the factory floor is a mix of hope and anxiety, as employees try to read the signs of what's coming next. The tariffs haven't lifted all boats. Instead, they've created competing currents across the industry. Some plants are bustling with activity, while others face slowdowns or uncertainty about future production. The long-term effect on American jobs remains uncertain. As the industry adapts, workers and automakers alike are left navigating a shifting landscape, hoping that today's policies will lead to a more secure tomorrow. Canada, once America's closest auto partner, now faces a 35% tariff, more than double the rate for Japan. This shatters decades of cross-border integration, leaving Canadian plants and workers in limbo. Automakers like Toyota must reconsider investing in Canada, as a RAV4 from Ontario is now far pricier than a Lexus from Japan. The USMCA's promise of partnership is undermined, and future investment in Canada is at risk. No major closures yet, but uncertainty clouds thousands of jobs and entire communities. The policy penalizes a key ally, fracturing a highly efficient supply chain. Canada's predicament highlights the unpredictable fallout of the new trade strategy. The tariffs may strengthen U.S. production, but at the cost of a vital North American partnership. Industry experts see the current turmoil as a complex, unfinished puzzle, one with pieces scattered across continents, each representing a different nation's interests, policies, and ambitions. The global auto industry, once a model of seamless integration, now finds itself at a crossroads, with every move scrutinized, and every decision carrying far-reaching consequences. Moves like Toyota's U.S. investment are both defensive and strategic, insulating against future trade shocks while leveraging hybrid expertise. By expanding American operations, Toyota is not just protecting its bottom line, it's also sending a message to competitors and policymakers alike. The company is betting that its hybrid technology, developed over decades, will give it an edge as the rules of the game shift. Some analysts warn the 15% tariff may not be enough to force full-scale relocation. Companies might just absorb the cost or source parts from even cheaper markets. The global supply chain is resilient, and automakers have become adept at finding creative solutions to new obstacles. For some, the tariff is just another variable in a long equation of costs, logistics, and market access. The UAW fears this could undermine the goal of rebuilding a robust U.S. supply chain. Union leaders worry that unless policies are carefully crafted, jobs could still slip away, and American workers might not see the benefits promised by new trade measures. The stakes are high, and the pressure is mounting on both industry and government to deliver real results. The old rules of global auto trade are gone, but the new ones are still being written. As countries renegotiate agreements and redraw trade routes, uncertainty reigns. Automakers must adapt quickly, balancing innovation with risk and tradition with transformation. The only certainty, the industry is in profound transition. Automation, electrification, and shifting consumer demands are reshaping factories and boardrooms alike. Every company, from legacy giants to new startups, is racing to define its place in this new era. The actions of Toyota and the plight of Canada are just the opening moves in a global chess match. Each decision sets off a chain reaction, influencing strategies and livelihoods around the world. The competition is fierce, and the stakes cannot be higher. The final outcome for American workers and automakers is still unknown. As the pieces continue to shift, only time will reveal who will thrive, who will adapt, and who will be left behind in this ever-evolving global puzzle. The story of Trump's auto tariffs is more than a simple trade war. It's a tale of adaptation and unintended consequences. Japanese automakers aren't leaving, they're investing and evolving. The tariffs have spurred new U.S. investment but also strained alliances, especially with Canada. Labor unions remain skeptical, and U.S. automakers face higher costs and tough choices. The industry is in flux, with companies betting on hybrids, EVs, and new production strategies. The long-term effects on jobs, prices, and global partnerships are still unfolding. The world is watching to see if this bold experiment will strengthen American industry, or fracture it for a generation.